I'm Brandy. Welcome to my channel, Sewing Back. And today I just wanted to make a quick video. I'm sorry about the noise in the background. I have a neighbor putting in a fence. But we got 6 pullets on not even a week ago. And they're about 10, almost 11 weeks old. So I did not raise these from chicks. I have raised my other girls I raised from chicks. And 2 of my girls ended up being rescues that were pullets after 2 of the chicks that the 4 I raised turned out to be roos. And I'm not allowed to have roosters in my suburban neighborhood. And so I found them homes with other farmers. And I'm thankful they were heritage birds because I was able to find them actual homes to do their jobs. They were beautiful, beautiful birds, and one of them, not a lot of love lost, because he was kind of mean. The other one was my favorite, and that one was hard, but he's living his best life, better than I could have ever given him, on 8 acres and a pond, and he's the only rooster with all the ladies, so that made me feel good about it. So when I found them new homes, that left me, I was short 2 chickens. And I saw a lady, I can't remember if it was on my backyard chicken group that I'm part of or if it was on Craigslist, but she had ordered several golden comets, thinking that they weren't going to make it, because whenever you get into chicken raising and you get chicks, everyone tries to prepare you. Some of them are going to pass away. Well, none of hers passed away, and she had too many for what she was allowed to have. So I took 2, and they're my little twinsies. And I'm glad I did. They've been great. The only thing I wish when I did that, I never took into account that I had all heritage breeds, which are bigger. They're dual-purpose birds, meaning you can definitely use them for the egg laying, but when they're done, you can use them as a meat chicken if you want. I don't know that we would do that because these girls, they're like my babies. So I don't know that. I mean, I just don't see that happening. So and hopefully we won't know for a very long time because they're healthy girls. So anyway, the difference was when I got the golden comets, I knew they were going to produce a lot of eggs. And I thought, well, that'll be good. I never took into account, just with my inexperience, never took into account the big difference in size. So they tend to get picked on a little bit more, but there's 2 of them, and they tend to stick together. They're like my twinsies. And for the most part, they're very happy with their flock in their coop. That's their coop with their room. They do not free range. I'm not supposed to have free ranging chickens. They're supposed to be in an enclosure and a structure. And I'm a rule follower. So that's what we've done, and they've been pretty happy. We have talked about building an extended run, but it would have to be covered because we do have hawks. And but just haven't gotten there yet, which brings me to the 6 new girls. And the 6 new girls, when we purchased the additional land, meant I could have more hens, and 4 laying hens will give your family pretty much all the eggs they're going to need. If you do your eggs correctly, you really should not have to purchase eggs, period. Like, you should be able to get, now once they start laying. And that's been pretty much our case. Matter of fact, I give eggs away, take them, to family and things like that. So we have an abundance of eggs. It has been nice because I have started taking my eggs to supplement my animal feed. Eggs, fresh eggs are great for your animals, and just like they're good for you, they're good for them. So I've started being creative with some of my extra. I've also frozen eggs. I have not water glassed eggs yet. I probably will at some point, but to be very honest, I haven't had time. I've seen how to do it. I just haven't had time. I'm doing good to get dinner by 10 p.m. and when we're putting in the gardens, so it's just what it is. So when we got the extra land, I knew that I wanted some more hens, because what I really wanted to be able to do was have enough eggs that I could consistently sell some of my eggs to help offset the feed cost. And so we had just went through a kitchen remodel. We had a water damage in our crawl space that rotted out our floor joist, and so we had to have floor joists replaced, which meant we had to rip out our 50-year-old kitchen. It had been updated, but it still had like the original cabinets and all that. We had to gut it to lift up the house to put in the new floor joist. So there was really no way around it. COVID threw us a big wrench, because we had to wait to find people who would actually do the work. So we were going through all of that, and I knew that I wanted more chickens, and I was kind of on the fence. I liked raising my chicks. It's a lot of work to raise chicks. Very fun. I love the part of it when you raise them, because they know you. And my big girls are sweet. They like to be held. The two twinsies that I rescued, they were pullets, and they tolerate me, but it's not the same kind of relationship as I have with my two original that I did from chicks. So I was kind of at, well, but we had just went through our whole family having COVID. I got COVID pneumonia. I literally was released, and the crew started on my kitchen 4 days later. And that was a lengthy process. So, I mean, I still have some boxes of things we haven't gotten through, because as soon as the kitchen was done, it was building up the gardens, to start getting the beds built for our second gardens and start planting. And that's kind of been what we've been doing ever since, other than building this other chicken coop. So in my backyard chicken group, it was recommended. A lady, she just does pullets up in Gainesville, Georgia. It's about an hour and a half drive from where I live. And that her chickens, she guarantees that you're going to get pullets, not roos. They'll be between 9 and 11 weeks old. She had different varieties I could get, and that she guarantees, that they're healthy and all that. And I went ahead and I placed an order, because I just didn't see how I had the wherewithal to raise chicks and do all the other things that I needed to do. And so I felt confident in my chicken skills now that I could try to, it's not tame the chickens, but it is to get them used to you, that they know you're their people and they're your chicks, and you build a relationship. And so that's what I have been doing. The girls, I mean, it's honestly, if you're ever going to move older girls, you really should be doing that in the evening. It's easier on them. I had to do it in the middle of the day. That was, what was available and when we could make the trip. And so I know, bless their hearts, they were pretty freaked out. And but we got them here. We got them home. And so every day, each morning, I go in and I try to spend just a few minutes with them. I don't want to spend too much time with them, just because it overwhelms them. When I first would come in there, they would stick their beaks in the corner of their coop and, face away from me. And so now they do still go back. Some of them actually will sit on the roost now while I'm in the coop. And none of them are coming to eat from my hands yet, but they know when I'm coming, I'm bringing something. And so typically what I bring, let me show you, I get a little sandwich baggie, because I have 6 of them. And I have 3 Easter eggers, 1 Plymouth Barred Rock, one silver laced Wyandotte, and another well summer. I love the well summers. So as you can, there's something that I just explained to you that I said probably not the best idea to do if you're going to have heritage breeds and hybrid breeds, because there's usually a size difference. And I kind of did it again, but I did it on purpose, because the Easter eggers are not necessarily a breed per se. They're like a hybrid breed. So they're not going to reproduce. If I were to try to reproduce them, they will not reproduce what I have, because they're a hybrid. Where I could reproduce my well summer, I could reproduce my my black Australorp, and I could reproduce the barred rock and stuff like that. So there is a difference there. But I felt okay, because as these girls come out of quarantine, because you kind of quarantine your animals, you don't put them together. They need a good month just to make sure everybody's on the up and up. And once we get through that, we will by that time have an extended run built around the coops, and the little girls will actually get to go out into that first for a while, and the bigger girls will watch them, and then we will incorporate the bigger girls. And so my thinking is if it does become an issue size-wise, I can always put all my heritage breeds in one coop, and I can put my hybrid breeds in the other coop if that's necessary. I just don't know that it will. We'll see. They may do it themselves. I don't know, because that would be my hope, is that eventually I could just let them go where they want to go at night. So going back to this, I bring a treat. So my treat that I bring, I kind of mix some of my own treats together. I get different things. So I get mealworms. They love mealworms. I get an organic scratch, and I get black oiled sunflower seeds. And I always put some, I can't think of what the word is that you put in there. The little pebbles, the grit. Sorry, it escaped me. It's like, when you turn 50, or you're almost 50, or you're over 50, words just fly away. Anyway, so I have chick grit in here, because my girls are still on grower feed, and the grower feed is like a grower crumble, and they don't necessarily need grit for that, but they do for pecking around, for this kind of stuff. If you feed them, scraps or, anything from the garden, anything like that, they're going to need to have some grit in their diet so that they can break that food down. So here I am. So I'm going to go into the coop, and I'm going to sprinkle this around so they can scratch around and get it. And we'll see how they respond to me today. John fixed the lock so I can open it up now. Hey, girlies. Hey, honey. That well summer, that's honey girl. Hey, honey girl. See, they'll go back to the back, but they're not all putting their beaks in. Oh, the chicken noises. Hey, honey girl. This is why I love well summers. They're very inquisitive, very friendly. Well, hi, Katie Lou. This is my Easter egger. That's Katie Lou. I named her after my grandma. There's Oreo Cookie. That's the white one. And that's Bonnie Blue. She's also an Easter egger. And way in the back, that one's Daisy. That one, Daisy is a Plymouth Barred Rock. And right there is the silver laced Wyandotte, and that's Lacey. So I'm going to open up my bag. And I typically, when I come in here, I do pet, and usually once a day. I've been doing it more in the evenings. I'll pick them up for just a minute. because that kind of, they're not real sure about that still. But chickens typically are calmer. They're getting ready to settle down to go to bed in the evening, so they're a little bit more tolerable for those kinds of things. So I have, hey girls, does anybody want to come get a treat? Anybody want to come get a treat? Honey girl, you're going to come get some? Chick, 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 chick. You want to come get some? Anybody going to come get any? Chicky chicks. They want it, but they're just not sure about it yet. So I'll put a little here. Hi, honey. Bonnie Blue, Katie Lou. Now I am being brave because I don't know how hard these girls peck. No, nobody wants any? Well, okay. Well, I'll sprinkle them around. I just kind of throw them. And I like to spread them around the coop so they'll kind of come around and peck around, see what they want. There we go. Hey, Lacey girl, you want some? Oh, sorry there. Lacey, get you some. But all in all, these girls and yes, I bring more in the afternoon. I do it in the morning and in the evening. But Lacey, I think Lacey there, and I've heard that the Wyandottes are very docile. So I'm thinking she may naturally be lower on the totem pole for right now, but she will be bigger overall. So as she gets bigger, we'll see. The biggest girl is going to be the Plymouth Barred Rock. They are about 8 pounds. But right now at night on the roost, it is Oreo Cookie there. She's an Easter egger. She's a big girl. So we'll see. And the Barred Rock. They're typically on the top rung there. And the other ones come down. So that's kind of how chicken peck in order. And it will change as they're growing out. And we'll kind of see how that goes. But we have to get through this first month. And of course they're going to be growing all through this first month. Then we'll start letting them roam around outside in the enclosed fence around the coops. And the other girls will be watching that. And then we'll introduce the bigger girls. And that can change all that as well. And then we'll figure out the sleeping arrangements and how that works. If we need to move the hybrids into one and the other ones in the other. If we just keep all the girls in here for their coop. And my older girls stay in their coop at night and they hang out during the day. I don't know. It's going to be an adventure. But one we're excited to have. And what's going to be really fun is adding these 3 Easter eggers is going to add, should add blue and green tinted eggs to my egg basket. I already have several different browns. I have the Well Summers actually do a dark brown with dark speckles, and not quite as dark as a Copper Marin, but they're really pretty. They're some of the prettiest eggs. And then the Barred Rock, I think, is going to be similar to my Australorp, and that's a very light tan egg, and that'll be a nice, except I think the barred rock's egg is supposed to be a little bit bigger than the Australorp. So we shall see. We'll see what we get. That's always fun when you start getting eggs and figuring out who laid what. So anyway, the girls seem pretty happy. I'm right, you can see my foot. I'm right pretty close to them, and they wouldn't do this a couple days ago. So they are getting more comfortable with me, and that's what I want. I want them to know that I'm their people and they're my chicks, and I'm going to keep them safe. They're also getting to know John. He comes in here, and he helps me out. And the boys don't typically come in here. They're also having to get used to the dogs barking. Because the dogs you can see, they can come. They can't get in here, but they can come next to them. And they're very interested in them because they're new. Look at you up there, honey girl. And Bonnie Blue. But I think I'm liking all my names. So I think that it's going well. But anyway, just some good information. If you're thinking about getting a backyard flock, I highly recommend it. There is some initial cost. I mean, you have to have something for them to live in. There are some cheaper plans and things you can do. With this coop, we did buy the 2x4s for part of the frame. Part of the frame we already had, and the plywood was extra stuff from our kitchen remodel. We really tried to reuse the roof was 10 our neighbors gave us. They did a garage kind of thing, and they had extra 10 and said they knew we gardened and stuff and asked if we could use it, and we had just enough to do a 10 roof on this coop. And that was so cool because it was totally free. We did have to buy the hardware cloth, but because of how we used the plywood and stuff, that we were able to get a cheaper roll, and we wrapped this whole coop is wrapped in hardware cloth. In truth, we worry about dogs. For the chickens, we have seen hadn't seen a raccoon since we cleared the woods, but we have seen a raccoon before, have seen possums before. But the big issue for us are hawks and owls. And I don't worry so much about the owls because that's at nighttime and they're in a coop. Owl can't get in here. But hawks, they actually will sit up in the trees and watch my chickens. So that's why when we do build our outside run, we will be putting shade cloth all over the top of it so that the aerial predators can't get in. And so that's really the main predator that we're concerned with. Aren't they sweet? Look at you with your personality. I love how they look at you. They're so cute. Hi, sweet girls. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Katie Lou's up there in the mix. Very sweet. But anyway, so there is, some initial costs that you have to consider if you're going to have them. It's just not like you get free eggs. It takes a while. You have to feed them right. You have to care for them. But they are an amazing, honestly, out of all the animals that I have, my chickens are my favorite. And I love, Mr. Kitty, Fats. I love him. I love Odie and Lucy, our dogs. But my personality, I love how self-sufficient the girls are. They suit my personality very well. And I'm thankful to have them. But anyway, if you have chickens, or you're thinking about getting chickens, what kind would you get? Are you more interested in a hybrid that lays more, or maybe lays pretty colored eggs? Or are you more interested in a dual purpose? And, let me know. Let me know what you think. Anyway, till next time, have a great day.